Everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Harry McCulla. We are talking the COVID variant. It's still going on in our area, and it is affecting the school system. We bring in Jarod Martin, the Superintendent of Education from Lafourche Parish Schools. I know, Jarod, we spoke with such optimism over the summer about how the summer program had worked and bringing kids back on campus, and we should be celebrating that point right now as all the other schools start. Instead, you're dealing with a little outbreak at W.S. Lafourche Elementary School in Thibodaux. An outbreak, a little bit of children, but more of staffing, and I guess that's a staffing issue that you're going to have to deal with there at that school?
That's correct. So we had 5 staff members all in the same grade level at WS Lafourche that had to quarantine due to COVID-related things going on. And so we looked at potentially pushing some other teachers into that grade level, but ultimately we decided that it would be more beneficial to the students to transition everybody in that grade level to a virtual platform. That way the teachers that are able from that grade level to work from home are going to stand up the activities on their Chromebooks, and the kids are going to be able to continue to receive what we hope to be the exact same activities that they would have on campus at home virtually.
Yeah, so it'll be a temporary thing as we get in the staffing situation. Hopefully everybody returns and healthy and ready to go. We've seen that with hospitals a little bit, that a lot of times they have beds. They don't have nurses to work those beds. And I guess that's what you might run into, as far as you might have children to teach. You might not have teachers to teach them. Are you worried about that at all?
Absolutely. In fact, I was on a call a little while ago with WDSU, and the question was, what's your biggest concern? My biggest concern is staffing. My biggest concern continues to be staffing, and it's going to continue to probably be a concern for a while. Bus drivers and classroom teachers are something that we just can't seem to find enough of these days. And not just classroom teachers, but substitute teachers, all of which have become very difficult to find.
Right, and you've got guidelines you have to follow, mask on indoors and campuses and like that. Vaccines, I spoke with your father a little bit about this. It's become such a political thing, and you guys are obviously just trying to educate and teach children. But teachers had an opportunity to get the vaccine earlier on, but just like the rest of society, not everybody probably did it. So I guess that's all things you got to juggle, is masks, parents being mad about that kind of stuff, teachers who may or may not want to do things that are required or asked to do. What's that like in an educational situation where there's some politics that are falling into y'all world a little bit?
Well, it obviously is challenging, but what I'm asking of the community, and what I'll continue to ask of the community, those classroom teachers, those building level principals, they're not the folks that are causing these restrictions. They're not the folks that are making these decisions. So be patient, be cooperative, and recognize that the teachers and the principals, the custodians, the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, and everybody that I forgot, they're doing the best that they can, and they're doing a great service to the community. And so I just ask that they be patient with them and recognize that decisions made at the state level, they affect us, and we're obligated to follow those state-driven decisions.
Yeah, we saw a little bit in Baton Rouge yesterday, where they had some of those same meetings that we were talking about, where they were carrying parents out. They were obviously upset about those kind of things. So yeah, it's a strange political time. Let's talk a little bit about your school year starting, though, and as we had talked about earlier, you're dovetailing right in from a great summer program where you had thousands of kids and many teachers that worked over the summer to kind of get those scores back to where they wanted to be. Obviously, you want to get those children in the classroom, because it's shown that those scores will come up when there's in-place learning that's taking place. You feel that you're set up for a good school year after we get maybe some little bumps and bruises, little turns that you'll have to take regardless of the school year?
Yeah, absolutely. We're prepared to answer whatever challenges come our way, and we've got a lot of professional development planned for our teachers. We anticipate being a better school district this year than we were last year, and we hope to be even better next year. So our teachers have a tremendous amount of support that we provide to them, and we've added to that support by hiring curriculum coaches, literacy coaches, and folks that we're going to push onto campuses, so that if a teacher is struggling to be the most efficient and effective version of themselves, they'll have somebody other than the principal here to coach them along the way, to show them the finer points of the curriculum, and to maybe articulate to them a better way of teaching. I was in the classroom for 7 years, and if I run into a student that I taught in the early 2000s when I was beginning, my first inclination is to apologize to them, because there's so much about teaching that I didn't know yet when I taught them. And so what we're hoping to do is make our first and second and third year teachers a little more effective than I was in those first, second, and third years. I remember as an assistant principal, the first time I walked into, I believe it was Miss Kathy Kozier's class at Homer Junior High, I realized how much I didn't know about teaching, because she was just firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely. I was married to a teacher for 36 years. I know what those teachers have to. I still am married to her. She just retired. Yeah, there's so much required of teachers, and just as anything in life, you think you know everything when you're young, but there's always something you can learn for sure as you go, and that's always welcome to have the support too, as things have changed. Even the older teachers that have come out of college 30 years ago, they may not be ready for the new technology that's demanded now in today's classrooms. But 10, 15 seconds, I guess football is ready to go. It's outdoors, obviously no dome, so it should be back to normal for most extracurricular activities.
Absolutely, that's our hope. And so what we're worried about is contact tracing, taking out players, but we're hoping for the best, and we're confident we'll have a full football season that brings the community together and focus on those things that unite us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like I say, I said this to your dad. Hopefully next time we talk about how great the scores are and how great the school year is going. Jarod, Martin, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more Bayou Time right after this.